Well, let's talk about something else that's going to get people fired up. This is a report from Wade Keller, and he says Bruno Sammartino, Ultimate Warrior, and Randy Savage were listed among candidates for fans to vote on to be included in next year's WWE Hall of Fame. All three are on bad terms with WWE to various degrees, but all three would easily qualify based on the standards WWE is used to induct other wrestlers. None of the three is likely to be willing to appear in person for the induction. Well, in Savage's case, Vince McMahon wouldn't welcome him. For undisclosed reasons, McMahon has said over the years that Savage is the one wrestler whose name he doesn't even want to hear brought up, much less considered for any official WWE involvement. Now, we know ultimately Savage would go in the Hall of Fame, but he would do it posthumously. Why don't you think Vince and it feels like everybody mended fences with Vince, whether it was Hulk Hogan or it was Bret Hart or it was the Ultimate Warrior or it was Bruno Sammartino? Why did it never happen with Savage? Why do you think?
I think because he wasn't a draw at that point. And I mean a draw as, you know, you want to bring a guy back. You know, Vince was the ultimate Machiavellian guy. You know, Vince would do something because it was the right thing for business. I remember one time, you know, Vince told me, he said, hey, if you're sitting there talking to somebody and somebody right here is your guy you need to go to, sometimes you just leave this guy and go here. You know, Vince was telling me, be Machiavellian about how you deal with things to get business done. And Savage, I think you want to bring back Bruno because there was so much clamor for it. I'm not sure there was as much clamor, and maybe I'm wrong about this with Savage. You know, I think if there were a lot of people that wanted him back, Vince would have found a way to forgive him for whatever it was that Vince was upset about him with. You know, when guys leave invariably, you don't always leave. Most of the time, you don't leave on good terms, and so there's always something there. And there was something there obviously with Savage, and you know, there wasn't a reason for Vince to forgive it. If there was a reason that, you know, all the fans all of a sudden say we want Savage back, Vince probably brings him back.
I absolutely love Randy Savage. He's one of my all-time favorites. So I was hopeful that we would have been able to see him give his induction speech. I thought Lanny did a terrific job, but either way, Randy Savage is where he belongs now. WWE Hall of Fame. Let's talk about.
I got to interview Bruno right before he passed away, and I tell you what, man, it was one of the greatest days of my life. It was so freaking cool. I'm sitting there with Bruno Sammartino. He's telling me about being in the Brucey Hills and his mother getting shot, going down to get him food while they're hiding from the Nazis, and how they lined him up one time. They were going to execute him. His mother said, "Don't worry, we won't be cold any longer," because obviously they're about to die and, you know, going to heaven. And somebody knifed the guys that were going to execute them, the Nazis. And Bruno's telling me all this and telling me about coming to America, and when he fought the baboon, I guess it was in Toronto, and all the stuff that he did with the world's strongest man at the time. I mean, it was just, I'm sitting there thinking, Bruno Sammartino's talking to me. And about halfway through the interview, we took a break, and he looked at me and goes, "Are my answers okay?" And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You're Bruno Sammartino. You could read the phone book when I ask you a question, and I'm going to think it's the greatest thing ever. So I was so happy when Bruno came back. You talk about one of the most respectful guys you've ever seen. This is Bruno, who sold the Garden out 286, whatever it is, straight times. And Bruno would sit there and ask people for pictures, and he was just the nicest human being for being that big of a star. I could see why he was such a draw. I'm so happy that I got to meet him.
I love hearing old Bruno stories. Let's talk about Joey Styles here for a minute. He's going to be taking a stab at being the lead announcer on Monday Night Raw. Jim Ross is going to be on the headsets, trying to help Styles sort of evolve his style to a WWE style. And it's written here, Styles had heat on him 2 weeks ago when right before going to a commercial before the main event, he made an issue of whether Triple H and Edge could get along. He had been specifically told on the final plug before the main event, the centerpiece of his plug should be the perspective of the babyface. In this case, John Cena being in jeopardy because he would be facing two heels. It was considered an inexcusable mistake that he had been coached on specifically to say. Styles is also criticized for writing up way too many note cards with the exact language on them he wants to say during a match, including his clever, smart-ass one-liners. Let's talk about this. You wore these headsets. I don't know that we've spent a lot of time talking about what you were hearing from Vince, and if you were subjected to the same sort of treatment that Mick Foley and JR and others have told us about. But what can you tell us about Styles trying to integrate into the WWE style? And now JR being in the backstage area, trying to help coach him along. And it felt like at times the McMahon Styles thing was just oil and water. What do you remember about that, if anything?
I don't remember a ton about it because I was on SmackDown.
Right.
And, I was doing commentary over there, I believe, at the time of wrestling. I can't remember where it was. I was on SmackDown. But I was, obviously, I've done, I don't know how many hundreds, if not, I don't know, about 1,000 matches of commentary, maybe probably hundreds, commentary for Vince, certainly matches, thousands, not days. And so I have a pretty good feel of what Vince did. And I worked with a million different guys. Vince treated me differently than he treated the play-by-play guys. And I mean night and day. He treated Booker different. He treated King different. He never yelled at us. Vince did not yell at us, even when we screwed up. I remember one time he told me not to say something. Literally said, "Don't say this." And when it came out, I don't know what, just instinct. It was the thing a guy would say. And Vince said, "Don't be just a typical guy and say that." When it came out, I fucking said it. I mean, I just blurted it out as soon as I did it. Like, "You've got to be kidding me." He told me specifically not to say that. My stupid self literally just said it. I was disappointed with myself. And when we went to commercial break, I buzzed him and I said, "Vince, I want to apologize. You told me not to say that. I wasn't just being a rude, disobedient guy. I said, that just slipped out." I said, I apologize, Vince. No problem. Not a big deal. It wasn't a big deal to Vince. If that had been a play-by-play guy, holy shit. You talk about a promo. If that had been Michael Cole or JR that would have said that, it would have Katie barred the freaking door. I've heard him, just berate those guys. It was a different thing. And I think what it was because I'm one of his old guys. And same with Booker and same with King. He never yelled at us. And I've talked to Booker about it. I've talked to King about it. I don't know what happened with Mick Foley. I'm not disputing what Mick has said, but he treated me, King, and Booker completely different from me. Treated the play-by-play guys. The play-by-play guys, but he expected something really top shelf with those guys, and not only top shelf, but the way he wanted it, which was not always what they had in mind because it's Vince's mind.
Don't we all love summer vacation, relaxing, laying out by the pool, barbecues, hitting the beach, doing, nothing? Well, how about a summer vacation from your house payments? With SaveWithConrad.com, you can do just that. Reduce your monthly payments by making the equity you built up in your home work for you. You can roll together those high interest rate credit cards into one lower monthly payment and perhaps access some of that newfound equity to turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. And how about this? You get to skip your next 2 house payments. That's right. You won't have to make your June or your July house payment. You're done until August 1st. Go right now to SaveWithConrad.com. Let my team run the numbers for you for free. There's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. And did I mention we're offering a 3-year guarantee right now? That's right. That means if at any point interest rates improve over the next 3 years, you get a free refi. That's right. No new lender fees from us. So you get to save money now without wasting money later when the rates improve on a whole second set of closing costs. Why not go to SaveWithConrad.com and get a guarantee? Save money now and save money later with your friend in the mortgage business. That's me, Conrad Thompson at SaveWithConrad.com. Shoot me an email at Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com. Give us a call at 888-425-0105 or get yourself a quick quote. Even talk to a live person right now at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. Let's take a summer vacation from house payments at SaveWithConrad.com.